NDTV. Today, Rajya Sabha elections were held. That polling has ended. The elections were for 57 seats to the upper house across 15 states. As of now, 41 candidates won their seats unopposed. But there was a big contest in 4 states, and we've been bringing you all that and more in Haryana, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Rajasthan. And we've had our reporters tracking all those developments ahead of that. We saw resort politics come into play, excuses being made for why MLAs were being kept in hotels, and mock tests were also being taken. But today, in a short while from now, we'll find out who managed to get the seats. And remember, it was a big contest between the BJP and the Congress in several seats in Rajasthan, Haryana, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. Also, reports of cross-voting having taken place and appeals for votes to be invalidated also happening. So that's for 16 seats across Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Haryana, where the voting has now ended, where we did see a contest there taking place on those seats. Well, let's go across now and get the latest from Haryana, where the Chief Minister Khattar Ghazali has declared that they've won both the seats there, though there was also some controversy with the independent candidate who was really, creating the pressure on the Congress, Kartikeya Sharma, claiming that or asking for 2 votes to be invalidated. Give us all the latest.
See, since morning what has happened is that MLAs from BJP, JJP and Congress, they separately arrived in different buses to the assembly premises to cast their vote. Voting started at around 9 a.m. in the morning, sharp at 9, and it went till 4 p.m. in the evening. But maximum voting was over by around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. The Congress MLAs with Bhupendra Singh Hooda, around 28 MLAs came with one by a bus here. They casted their votes, but one independent MLA, Balraj Kundu, he has not casted his vote. He said that he will not vote either for the Congress candidate Ajay Makan because he is an outsider, and he won't vote for Kartikeya Sharma because he is an outsider as well in terms of politics of Haryana, because his father was an ex-MLA. So as of now, the BJP claims that 2 votes cast by the MLAs of Congress party will be declared invalid. Now for that, a BJP delegation is meeting the Election Commission Chief Electoral Officer in Delhi at the Election Commission office at 5:30. Once a clearance is given from the Election Commission office, then only the voting will start here. This is what we are picking up right now. The Congress says that it is very confident because it needed just 30 votes to secure 1 Rajya Sabha seat and has 31 MLAs in the assembly. Whether Kuldeep Bishnoi has cast his vote in favor of the Congress party or to somebody else, that is not yet known. He maintains the line that he has voted following the voice of his conscience. BJP is very confident, saying that there has been cross-voting. Bishnoi may have voted for Kartikeya Sharma, which is being backed by BJP and JJP. So that one seat is the major cliffhanger between Congress and the independent candidate who is Kartikeya Sharma. The other seat, which needed 31 votes or 31 seats, that is safely with BJP because they have got 40 seats in the assembly. So as of now, all eyes are on the second seat, which is where the contest is between Ajay Makan of the Congress and Kartikeya Sharma, who is an independent.
That both seats have, that they've won both seats. But Kuldeep Bishnoi really giving the Congress those, last-minute jitters, given that, and his soundbite before the casting his vote was that he listened to his antaratma, his inner conscience before casting the vote. The Congress claiming that he did cast the vote for them.
Yeah, Congress leaders, some of the Congress MLAs who came out after the voting, they confirmed, they claim, we will say, because we are not confirming whether he has voted for the Congress or not. But some of the Congress colleagues of his said that he has voted for the Congress. Meanwhile, BJP leaders are claiming otherwise, that Mr. Bishnoi has not voted for the Congress candidate. So only after the counting we will get to know the exact status, that who has got how many votes, and has, like in 2016, has any of the votes been termed invalid or declared invalid by the Election Commission, because a delegation of the central BJP leadership is meeting the Election Commission at 5:30 in Delhi, and once they get a clearance from there that no, these 2 votes are valid, then only the voting will start. So I think the voting time was 5 p.m. but perhaps this counting will start, the counting time was 5 p.m. but perhaps the results will come a bit later, maybe after 5:30 or at around 6 p.m.
All right, Ghazali, they're reporting on that polling in Haryana. But let's now go across to Harsha, who joins us for the Rajasthan latest, and Shrija and Sohit will join us for Karnataka and Maharashtra. But Harsha, first to you, it's been quite an exciting Rajya Sabha election, and today as well, there's all this, allegations of cross-voting. Give us all the latest that you're hearing.
Well, yes, very, very exciting. And in spite of all the resort politics and training MLAs again and again about who they're supposed to vote, there is news that the BJP MLA Shobha Rani Kushwaha, she has either cross-voted or not voted correctly. The BJP is not officially saying anything, but they are saying that she did not vote as prescribed. So Shobha Rani Kushwaha, and just to tell you what happened, she went inside. She apparently, according to sources, was trying to vote for the Congress candidate. So she was trying to cross-vote for Pramod Tiwari and Rajendra Rathore, who is the poll observer. He tried to take that vote away from her hand, to which the Congress objected. And then, Subhash Chandra told the returning officer that since Rajendra Rathore had held that vote and tried to take it away from her, it should be declared invalid. So that's objection over Shobha Rani Kushwaha. I spoke to Rajendra Rathore, and he very clearly said that it's an internal matter of the party, but yes, the MLA has not voted as prescribed. Then also Kailash Meena, he is also a BJP MLA. The Congress is claiming that he also showed them his vote. You're only supposed to show your vote to your own poll observer. He apparently turned around and also showed it to the Congress poll observer. Now again, we spoke to Satish Punia, BJP state president, and he said in the videography, because how they are voting, everything is being recorded on camera. So in the videography, it will be clear whether he showed it to the Congress observer or not, which he shouldn't have. And then the returning officer will decide whether that vote should be counted or not. The Congress, in the morning when they went in, had claimed 126. The BTP, the CPM have all come together. And of course, the RLP, which was supporting Subhash Chandra. But the trends now, the counting has begun and the trends will emerge. And also the number of votes cast. From that, we'll be able to understand if any cross-voting happened or if any votes were declared invalid.
All right, so very, very exciting election in Rajasthan, with all the resort politics and internet being cut in Jaipur since yesterday. So very, very, a lot of developments there, and now cross-voting as well. Let's go across to Sohit. And Sohit, what's the latest there in Maharashtra where, you had that big contest over the 6th seat? I think Sohit's not with us. Sohit, yes, Sohit is there. And we believe that the Chief Minister also made a very emotional appeal to all MLAs this morning. Give us all the latest.
That's right. In fact, the Chief Minister himself has been directly trying to see that he gets most of the votes. While the voting has been over, what I can tell you right now is that the suspense is still not over. If you see, if my camera person Rajendra Dayalkar will show you, what you see on your screens is Hitendra Thakur. He is an MLA and his party has 3 MLAs with him. And when asked him that who did you vote for, he is saying that I have voted for them who will win. So no one is still saying that who has them voted for. So he has his own small party and he has 3 MLAs. But despite the voting ending, he is not telling us who did he vote for. So this is how close the contest has been. And when asked, he said, yes, both Devendra Fadnavis and Uddhav Thackeray are my friends. I was contacted by both of them and I have done what I have to do. So it would be important, and a very close contest is going to happen as of now. Speaking off records with leaders also, they are saying that it is neck and neck. We don't know what would happen. There might be chances where some of the votes might get disqualified. So some of them.
For 8 to 10 hours in the morning, from the morning, and so did Devendra Fadnavis. They were here for a very long time, and both of them have been saying that yes, they will be voting. As of now, the election is over. Throughout the day, we were also questioning whether Nawab Malik and Anil Deshmukh will be allowed to vote or not. But post 2:30 p.m., it was clear that they won't be allowed to vote. So the calculations kept on changing throughout the day, and the numbers kept on changing throughout the day. But now the voting is over. And apart from Anil Deshmukh, Nawab Malik, all the other MLAs vote. So everyone is taking this seriously. Votes. That is very important to know. Post the results, we would who would be celebrating this.
Celebrating this, will it be Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray? or will it be Devendra Fadnavis? And this is not only limited to just Rajya Sabha elections. After this, there is MLC elections that is going to happen on 20th. After that, there are several municipal corporation elections, which includes BMC, where Shiv Sena is in power for the last 25 years. So whoever wins today will have a good image, or they'll have a strong perception in the minds of people. And that's the reason what we can say is that
did fight till the last minute.
All
and
right,
now,
so really
no one
going
is
down to
saying
the
that
wire on that 6th seat there in Maharashtra, and there was a setback also to the government when two of the former ministers who are in jail were not permitted to cast their vote. Let's go across to Shrija now for more. In Shrija, in Karnataka, you have at least one JDS MLA who's declared that he voted for the Congress because he loves them.
Well, it's just one JDS MLA who's very, explicitly made it very clear, saying that he loves the Congress and so he went ahead and voted for them. But you never know how many cross votes have happened until the results are out, because we see the counting is right now underway. And what's more important here to note that it's not just one particular cross vote, but there is an vote in terms of which was an empty ballot which was deposited by Srinivas Gubbi. Now, clearly we look at where the JDS is already at loss in terms of 2 votes. Now, even then, when you're talking about 2 votes, they clearly have just 32 votes, a total of 32 votes. Nearly 2 votes have gone for a toss at the moment, and left with 30. Now we have to wait and watch if at all any cross voting has happened. Now that will come out only once the results are out. On the other hand, we did see how especially the strife between the GDS and the Congress, they clearly did not come to an agreement, and we saw how HT Kumaraswamy definitely he hit it out at the Congress by calling them a traitor. He also went on to say that they are the B team of the BJP and they are the main and primary reason why for the rise of the BJP in the country. And as far as the BJP is concerned, though in 224 seat assembly, 121 seat is what we are looking at. But however, in terms of the 4th seat, which seems to be the most crucial one, as far as the BJP is concerned, they say that they're pretty confident of winning nearly 3 seats, whereas the Congress. Now, it's definitely a very close and a very close fight. But what really remains to be seen is, if at all, because we have seen just one MLA come out in the open and talk about the cross-voting, but we still do not know how many of the MLAs would have cross-voted for the other parties as well. That is for the results, which will be out in an hour or so.
All right, so do continue watching NDTV for all the latest on those Rajya Sabha polls and the results which will be coming out in Haryana. The results delayed, but thank you all for joining us.